Towards the later stages of the Second World War, the Big Three met at 3 separate conferences. The discussions at these conferences focused around defeating Hitler and the future of Europe after German defeat. The Tehran Conference in November 1943 saw key agreements like Operation Overlord included opening a second front against Germany and the commitment to a future United Nations. However, disagreements over Poland's post-war status and the lack of a formal deal on Germany's fate revealed the first cracks in the Grand Alliance. This conference, despite marking a high point in cooperation, foreshadowed the tensions that would fuel the Cold War. By the Yalta Conference in February 1945, the Big Three agreed to divide Germany into 4 occupation zones and establish the framework for the UN. Crucially, they promised free and fair elections for liberated Europe. Yet, Stalin's control over Eastern Europe and his insistence on the Soviet-backed Polish government created significant tension. The Red Army's physical presence made Western democratic guarantees difficult to enforce, solidifying distinct spheres of influence. The Potsdam Conference in July 1945 marked the official fracturing of the alliance, with Attlee and Truman replacing Churchill and Roosevelt. Nazi Germany had already been defeated, and due to the changes in US and UK, the leaders did not have the same working relationship as the previous leaders. While agreements covered confirmation on Yalta promises, German demilitarization, and war crimes trials, more conflict arose immediately. Truman hinted at the atomic bomb, the development of which he had kept secret from Stalin, which infuriated him. Stalin broke his Yalta promise on Poland, and the leaders profoundly disagreed over reparations, shifting the dynamic toward open hostility. The atomic bomb was a turning point. Japan had still been fighting alone, keeping alive the Second World War, and the US decided they would use 2 separate atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Strategically, it forced Japan's surrender and gave the USA a temporary nuclear monopoly. But for the alliance, it was a catalyst for the Cold War. Truman's decision to keep the weapon secret fueled Stalin's deep distrust, strengthening his resolve to secure a Soviet, quote, buffer zone. The bombing signaled the end of shared enemies and the beginning of a nuclear arms race. In 1946, a mutual intelligence of distrust surfaced through the Kennan and Novikov telegrams, confirming that both sides were preparing for long-term conflict. This was followed by Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain speech, which defined the permanent boundary between communist Eastern Europe and capitalist Western Europe. These events transformed wartime collaboration into immediate peacetime hostility, proving the alliance was built on enemies, not shared values.